Not the champions. WWE weekend, wrestling weekend, 3GW podcast. Welcome back, everybody. How's it going? The real Big E and Rob the Ambassador. What's going on, sir? I know it was a busy weekend, but three
Yeah,
wrestling shows is hard to keep up with trying to balance family and doing this. But these shows might be slow rolled out this week, but hey, we got lives, so it is what it is.
right, man. Hey, we still put in the work, but yeah, man, it was a good weekend, holiday weekend. First of all, Memorial Day weekend, very important holiday. We just want to show appreciation for those who we've lost, those who have served. So much love and respect for those, and definitely want to, you know,
Pay our
show
respects.
respect for this holiday. Yeah, but it was a lot of wrestling. I did a little cooking, did the family thing that typically like people do this time of year. Um, it's always nice to have an extra day off work, but
Hmm.
yeah, man. But it was a nice weekend.
Yeah, it's the ripple effect though. You get that extra day, and you go in Tuesday, and it's like
Right,
we got all this work for you to do. I'm like, oh, okay, thanks.
right.
Okay, we're not gonna dilly dally. This is Night of Champions by WWE. They were in Jeddah, I believe, for this one, Jeddah, Saudi
Yeah.
Arabia. I don't know if this was the Super. Michael Cole kept changing names, so I'll just call it the Jeddah Superdome. Um, I thought that the atmosphere, as always, was great. Fan interaction was great. Participation was great. I thought the set was pretty well what for what going over there. It was pretty good. Um, Not as much pyrotechnics as they normally have. I noticed they were a little light on the pyro this time. I think probably because they've gotten back to giving that all at the WrestleMania. The past couple of years, WrestleMania was we're kind of easing our way back into doing WrestleMania. So, pyro is not cheap. So the type of pyro that they do, there was still pyro, but just not the whole spectacle, And they didn't do the drones in the sky.
No, you know what they did? That was a pretty cool effect. But man, look, drones ain't cheap. But
No, no.
but man, look, this is Saudi Arabia. But maybe they just didn't think this was the show to do it for. Maybe at the next
That could be. That could very well be the case. Show surprisingly to me kicked off with the World Heavyweight Championship match, AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins to determine the new, not inaugural. I don't know why they keep using the word inaugural. Y'all had a World Heavyweight Championship before, so it's not inaugural. So I'm not gonna add to that narrative, but it is the reintroduction of the World Heavyweight Championship and finals of the tournament of AJ Styles and Seth Rollins. A lot of people undecided of who they thought it was tough. Have we done a prediction show? I really don't know. I guess I would have fell with Seth Rollins, who I ended up picking anyway. Um, but it would have been tough because I can understand why they would put it on AJ as well. They both made sense, essentially. Um, the match was good. I thought started. I won't say it started slow, but it started kind of with I guess the stuff I'm just used to with these two. So it's a little hard to be amazed at what they were doing. But the work was good, and then they kind of picked it up a little bit. Um, a couple of clunky spots, um, especially when they didn't do anything off the top rope, and then some of the submission counters. But that's nitpicky stuff. Um, at the end of the day, Seth is. I guess the selling of the knee was a little hokey. I think because he went from the knee and being in the calf crusher to hitting a pedigree. I do like the AJ Styles hit a pedigree. That was dope. That was dope. Uh, but Seth hits the pedigree and then a stomp and pins AJ Styles for the win, and then Triple H comes in and gives him the World Heavyweight Championship. Not cool moment, but once I saw like him and Triple H in the ring, I was kind of like, yeah, this is kind of where y'all were going the whole time anyway. But it's all good. Pay-per-view worthy match to me. Um, just not quite superb, but definitely a pay-per-view worthy match.
Yeah, man. I think all of us know that these guys are capable of an instant classic, but I just didn't feel like they brought it on Saturday night afternoon. It was live in the afternoon here in Iowa in the Central Time Zone where we watch. So yeah, I went pay per view worthy as well. It almost got too superb because these guys were doing some great things. There was some good work done, but I don't know, man. I just felt like they weren't giving it everything they had, uh, or maybe it just wasn't there. So I went pay per view worthy. I did predict Seth to win. I just thought Seth was the right guy. He's so white hot. We all know AJ is one of the great wrestlers, but he hasn't done singles wrestling in a while, and I just didn't think it would really be appropriate to put it on him right now. Not that he's not a worthy champion, but Seth has just been week after week so over with this character of his. He was just the right guy. So I think he was the right choice. But look, the great thing for AJ is that, man, he's back as a solo wrestler, and now he can remind us all that he is still one of the best in the world. And even though I didn't think this is one of his top performances, uh, we saw enough to know he still got it. But the right guy won, and I went pay per view worthy.
All right. After that, we had the first of our ladies matches. Trish Stratus versus Becky Lynch. Um, interesting build to this match. I had to like measure my care factor with this because I don't know. It just seemed a little manufactured. A lot of people thought Trish Stratus was actually going to turn heel at WrestleMania, and she didn't. It happened afterwards, but I do like heel Trish. I think I do. I just think that less is more. And her cutting those 20-minute promos, I mean, that's not necessary. Say what you gotta say, get out the ring. Okay. Um, however, I gotta say, somebody hasn't wrestled in 4 years. She looked great. She looked great in this match. I had concerns going in about how the quality of the match would go. Those concerns were alleviated quickly, and I thought these two women did a great job. I especially was eyeballing Trish. I mean, but uh, I enjoyed it. I actually did enjoy it. I didn't see the Zoe Stark interference coming. I knew she was kind of working as a heel, but I didn't see that coming. So I kind of do like that for Zoe to work with Trish and maybe kind of have a mentor to help her along her career as well. And I did like that, and it kind of helped Becky um, take the loss without looking bad. But I don't know if it was Zoe Stark's move or if it was the Stratus faction, but looked like they broke her nose again. And I mean, she was bleeding profusely. It was bad after the pinfall. You could see. So I don't know if it was Zoe that was a little too stiff with her move, or if it was Trish, was she had her face on the mat. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I also gave this pay per view word. I thought it was a good match. And maybe great on the curve for Trish because again, 4 years out of the ring, didn't look gassed, didn't miss a step. She looked good. Becky always comes ready. Um, and I had a feeling Trish was going to win because I was like, they're not going to set this whole thing up and be done with it in Saudi Arabia. They're going to continue this storyline prior to SummerSlam.
Yeah, man, I thought Trish for the most part looked good. I saw a couple of moments where uh, she she had gotten Becky in the corner. Becky was on the third rope, and Trish went in to do a dive, and she was trying to. I don't know if it was going to be like a Hurricane Rana or something, but Becky had to reach out and kind of grab her legs for Trish to get there. And then there were a couple of times when Trish was had her in the headlock, and I can't remember the name of the move, but she would run towards the rope, and I could see Becky kind of lift her up so that Trish could bounce off the ropes and do the
Yeah,
you know
I mean, I see that in guys' matches too. So
yeah. Maybe I'm being nitpicky. I don't know. I mean, she didn't look bad. Look, she's 48 years old. She's in tremendous shape, and for Michael Cole kept belaboring the point that she had been out of the ring 4 years. So if you take all that into account, she still looked good. But I went TV quality. That's not bad. I just, I just, I just didn't think it was as good as what I thought it'd be. I really don't know how else to phrase it. I just didn't think it was great, but it was still good. Now, I didn't see the Zoe Stark thing coming either, but I like it. I think it's good for Zoe Stark because look, if you're going to bring, we've said this countless times, if you're going to bring someone up to the roster, give them something to do. And so I think this is a good spot for Zoe Stark to be in. Now it's up to her. Okay. She's obviously going to feud with Becky and maybe have the tutelage of Trish. That's a great spot to be in. So now it's up to her. You got to make it work. So I like that. But the match itself, I thought could have been a little bit better. So I went TV quality because and I probably shouldn't do this. I went pay-per-view worthy with AJ and Seth, and I thought that was much better than Trish versus Becky. So I wanted to separate those two.
No, hey man, your grading is your grading. I could understand that, but I just thought that it was still entertaining. So, all right. Now this I thought was just, you know, where we are, we got to do this match. Um, in the Continental Championship match, Gunther versus Mustafa Ali. They're in Saudi, so they got to have some type of representation. I get it, no problem. But this should have been just like the Rhea match. It should have been the same thing, but they gave Mustafa Ali some kind of offense. Okay, all right. That's all fine and dandy. Yeah, that little guy was hanging with Gunther, who hung with Drew McIntyre and Sheamus, who hung. Well, he hasn't really wrestled. He hasn't wrestled Roman yet, but if you will, to the guy that was compared and what people wanted to see fight Brock Lesnar. Okay, you're gonna tell me that he had a hard time or was at points on the ropes about to lose to Mustafa Ali? Yeah, stop. This was some bullshit.
Wow. Wow.
Gunther wins easily. I mean, it should have been easier than it was, but yeah, I can't suspend my disbelief that much. Sorry. Goodbye. Bullshit.
Okay. I can't go bullshit on it because I thought the match was okay, but look, was it believable? Man, look, none of us thought Mustafa Ali was going to win this match, and he didn't. So, but did they make it more competitive than it should have been? Yeah, but because of where the match took place, I could understand why. So I'm going to cut him some slack on that, but I am going to go middle of the road because yeah, it was, first of all, it was unbelievable that Mustafa even was placed in this match. But since you did put him in this match, you got to give him some offense. But at the end of the day,
No, you
I
don't.
thought, well, okay, at the end of the day, look, Gunther won, I thought convincingly. So I'm not too mad about it, but still, I could only go middle of the road.
Okay. Yeah. I never would never watch that shit again. Okay.
Oh, well, I won't either, but I just liked it a little better than you.
The Raw Women's Championship match, Asuka versus Bianca Belair, the longest reigning women's champion of the modern era, whatever that means. Um, all right. Well, I like this match. Well, mm, hmm. No, I like the Mania match better. I had to think about it for a second because Oscar was doing some nasty submissions in that Mania match.
And that
She was
spot
holding
outside,
Bianca up.
yeah.
Oh, and then yeah, that powerbomb on the outside. Jesus Christ. Yeah. So nothing that to that extreme, but I still thought these women put in work. Um, Obviously Bianca with the feats of strength and Oscar countering all her moves. I did like that they put a twist on the mist and the fact that she missed finally. Like that was key. And the timing on that was perfect. So she missed the mist, but she still had one more trick up her sleeve. Yeah, that's a tongue twister
You're
right
having fun with this word miss, a twist with the mist, and
there. Yeah.
she missed. Yeah, and it's Mr.
Yeah. Um, so she spits on her hands, misses her fingers anyway. Bianca picks her up for the KOD. She plays dead, and then she gets Bianca's eyes, and then two stiff kicks to the head, and we got a new Raw Women's Champion. And I said it was I picked Asuka to win, and I had a feeling she would. So I'm not mad about it. I'm happy with it. I'm cool with it, and I'm interested to see what happens going forward. I mean, Bianca was a champion for over a year, working these dates. She probably needs a break. I mean, seriously. So, yeah, I'm going to go pay-per-view worthy again. I enjoyed it, but just not quite. I gave WrestleMania superb. I'm pretty sure. I had to go back and listen, but at least I know for a fact at least gave it superb. This one was pay-per-view worthy.
Yeah, I went pay-per-view worthy as well. Definitely not to the level of their one at Mania, but still good. These women just have good chemistry and they work well together. I predicted Bianca to win. I just didn't think they were ready to take it off of her yet. But you know what? To my surprise, Asuka won. But everybody who watches this podcast knows I love me some Asuka, so I am not disappointed. I am happy because I do think that she is a worthy champion. She's a great worker. She's a great ambassador. She's loved in the locker room, and so I'm good with it. And I look forward to the rematch between these two. I think it will be great. But for right now, Asuka's the champion. I think deservedly so. And the match itself, I thought was pay-per-view worthy.
Cool, cool. Yeah, kids, man, don't have any.
Oh man, at my age, shit, you ain't got to worry about that.
I mean, anybody out there listening or
Okay.
watching, if you're watching
Yeah.
live, you know why I said that. If you're not, if you're listening, just don't have any. Okay. Lord have mercy. Probably one of the shortest matches in the history of matches. And why even go through the trouble of flying these people out there? Rhea Ripley versus Natalya for the SmackDown Women's Championship. All of a minute and 10 seconds. What the hell is the point? Just for what? Um, I, I don't have it over here, but you know, oops, wrong button. I mean, a
Hey,
minute and 10 seconds squash of Natalia. No offense at all. And Rhea Ripley just flatlines the girl. And GFY. Get this up out of here.
yep.
Or as Book would say, the flaming fucking F.
And I am in agreement. I am in agreement. I don't think we mentioned that, of course, Dominic got his ass involved. He kind of distracted Natalia at the beginning of the match. But like you said, man, why fly them out for this bullshit? I mean, why? Why even book the match if that's the way? Look, Natalia, none of us expected her to win, but we know Natalia's a good worker. It could have been a good match between these two ladies. They're both kind of physically imposing, and it could have been interesting, but no, they chose to go the squash route. I don't understand it. I mean, our commentary is longer than the match was, and it was just ridiculous. It was just a waste of time. It was a waste of plane fare for Rhea, Dom, and Natalia. I just don't get the point of it all. So yeah, GFY for me.
I didn't even know the match was on the card until I was doing predictions on Instagram. I was putting the polls up on Instagram. I didn't know it was on the show. I was like, really? Okay.
And
I
that's
guess.
just how they treated it.
I guess. All right. Now, getting back to something real here.
Hmm.
Brock Lesnar versus Cody Rhodes. No stakes other than I don't know, respect, pride, which goes a long way if you're a man. Now, that attack on Monday, the previous Monday Night Raw with Brock Lesnar, he broke Cody's arm. Uh, and they put a let's see this match. I'll just say this now. This match almost got some bullshit. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you why. And you may or may not agree. I don't know. But he came out, he got the cast. Michael Cole makes sure to mention that the cast is made of titanium. First strike. Like, okay, so he has a weapon on his hand to fight Brock. Okay, all right. And strike two is like, are you really gonna let somebody beat Brock, go over on Brock with a broken arm? I mean, people have a hard enough time going over him 100% healthy. Um, but I mean, the match started off cool. Brock on offense, but then Cody realized, oh, I can use this as a weapon. He starts beating the hell out of Brock with it, hits the crossroads. But then it was when he started slapping on the Kimuras where I was just like, how long are we gonna do this? And those are some long ass Kimura locks. Too long. And I just like I can't suspend this. Somebody would have been either been tapped out or the arm would have been or hey, I don't know. Why not with the Kimura on the other arm without the damn brace on it? But in the end, he passes out from a second Kimura, and Brock does get the win. If Brock lost, this would have got some bullshit. But because he won, I will give it TV quality as far as the match itself. I've probably never done that to a Brock Lesnar match, but at the end of the day, I didn't think that the quality of the match was that good, and I didn't believe in it. I could see what they were trying to do, having Triple H motivate him, have the titanium cast and all, but I wasn't feeling it. But yeah, TV.
Man, everything about this match, from the build up, from the way it was booked, was just some bullshit to me. When Cody broke his arm on Raw, when Brock beat him down so bad he broke his arm, but then Triple H still allows him to wrestle. I mean, seriously?
That is some bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, what is
I
the
didn't even
point
mention
of
that.
yeah, what is the point of booking Cody this way? I'm not sure they're doing him any favors. This underdog thing. All right, we know he came back, fought an epic match at Mania. We know he fought at Hell in the Cell with the torn pec. Okay, we know he was out for months, came back, won the Royal Rumble. Everybody thought he was going to beat Roman at Mania. He didn't. So now he comes out at Backlash, and to a lot of people's surprise, he beats Brock. It was kind of chintzy the way he won, which I didn't like. I thought if he's gonna beat Brock, let him beat Brock. I hate that Brock can't ever lose clean except for that one time to Goldberg. And I think once to Roman. I'm not even sure he lost clean to Roman. There's
Oh,
always
Roman
some.
beat him clean at Mania. He speared him, Cleveland beat him, and then well, no, they cheated at SummerSlam, but he beat him, he
Yeah,
speared him and beat him at Mania.
yeah. So now you get this rematch, and Cody comes into it with a broken arm. Man, look, under most circumstances, nobody believes Cody can beat Brock straight up when he's completely healthy. But you're gonna try to convince us that he can beat Brock with basically one arm. I don't care. And it was funny. Michael Cole kept belaboring the point that, oh wow, look, every time Brock would suplex him or do those belly to bellies, oh, he landed on the arm. Oh, that hurts Cody so bad. But then Cody, it didn't hurt Cody at all when he was bashing Brock upside the head with the cast. That was just fine. And then he could stay in a Kimura for what 2-3 minutes.
Forever, like the thing that people tap out instantly to.
Right. But he could this broken arm. I don't get the booking of this at all. I don't think they did Cody any favors, and then Cody lost. So
Right, if you're
now,
gonna lose anyway, just tap out.
right. So where do you leave Cody now? Okay, is he still your plan eventually to beat Roman? At this point, do fans even still care enough about Cody that they want to see him in another match with Roman? This booking for me with Brock was very curious. I don't know where they go with Cody from here. Maybe he wins the Money in the Bank, but is that the way you want Cody to win the title? What are they doing with him? I don't get it. I did not like this match. This was some bullshit to me from the beginning, from the time on Raw when Brock broke his arm to the time
Oh,
at the end of Raw when Triple H comes in to talk Cody out of the match. But then from out of no, but then but then allows Cody to wrestle anyway with a broken fucking arm. No, man, all of this was some bullshit. You know what? No, it was a GFY. I'm sorry. This
Damn.
whole everything, I hated it. I hated it. It didn't do anybody any favors except Brock. And Brock don't need any more favors. He's a made man. I'm getting tired of Brock always getting this special treatment, man. Like, if I'm gonna lose, there's got to be some controversy. No one can just beat me straight up, dude. You know, you're at the end of your career. You're still a big badass dude. We still respect and love you, but it's just time to start getting other people over. You know, I didn't like this at all.
Wow. Well, I'm glad I didn't feel alone because I guess I was trying to be a little bit more reserved with yeah, it was yeah, I was at bullshit, but Brock won, so I was okay. But yeah, I'm not mad. Nothing you said. Everything you said is on the money. Is all right on the money.
I didn't get, you know, I'm like I said, I'm not sure what they're trying to do with Cody. Are they trying to keep him relevant or not? Because having him lose to Brock and you know having Brock break his arm, that don't make Cody look strong.
No, no. All right. Main event time. Tag team championships. Main event. Got Sami Zayn, KO, taking on the Bloodline. Solo, Sokoa, and the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns. Um, I predicted the Bloodline based on I thought that they were being a little too heavy-handed on SmackDown with what they did at the end. I thought that based on a commercial I had saw, with Roman saying we're just getting started. So I was putting all that in my head, like, oh, they're gonna swerve, they're gonna have the Usos come out, and then they're gonna beat down Sammy, and then they're gonna, acknowledge the tribal chief again, and then maybe after that they Roman would just give the Usos back the titles and say, hey, we just did this to make a statement, but I'm a give y'all one more chance and say here. But no, I was wrong. I was wrong. The match itself, more of a really a crowd spectacle for sure. The interaction with Roman, man, this was probably one of his better, more standout showings as a heel. I mean, just getting into it with the crowd, working the camera, I mean, just the way he tagged in Solo the first time, all hard and just barking instructions. And man, it was I was feeling it. I mean, you really felt the tension in this match. Oh, and shout out to Sami Zayn doing his own introduction as well and coming out with the guard because I was shocked that he even went over to Saudi Arabia because he is of Syrian descent, I believe.
Yeah, you know, and just to briefly speak on that, both Sammy and Mustafa went to Mecca, which because they're both practicing Muslims, and that's that making your pilgrimage to Mecca is a duty and a privilege for any Muslim, and for Sammy to have this moment because KO in also protest with Sammy had never been to Saudi Arabia, if I recall. I think he sat out a show or two. Well, maybe he's been, but I know he sat out a couple of shows in solidarity with Sammy. But for Sammy to be able to come over and he came out, like you said, in traditional clothing and then speaking to the crowd, introducing he and KO in Arabic, I thought was just a classic moment.
Yes, I thought that was awesome. Mike Wrong just staring there like, I just don't get to do my job, huh? Okay.
Right.
Well, you can't top Paul Heyman either. So, hey, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
I liked. I mean, they keep booking Solo Sikoa strong. I mean, the match. Sammy worked majority of the match. Not to anybody's surprise, but getting down to it, I mean, it was only a matter of time for the Usos got involved, and they were on the outside, and they were, Roman was up against the ropes, and I think they were laying him on the table. Usos come out, attack, and they beat up Kevin Owens, and then they get back in the ring, and they're super kicking Sami Zayn, and they go to double super kick him, and Sammy ducks, and they super kick Solo, which, first of all, jaw on the floor because the timing of that was perfect.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it was that old shit moment, like, oh, y'all done did it now. And then they pan the camera over to Roman, and he looked, he tell he saw it. It's like, shit. And even if he knew it was an accident, he still was pissed. And he got in there, what are y'all doing here? And then I knew as soon as he threw Jimmy down, I was like, oh, well, my prediction's out the window. And then he's trying to throw Jay out the window, and he goes to turn around, and Jimmy super kicks his freaking head off. And then the crowd goes, it was Royal Rumble all over again. Maybe not quite the same effect as Sammy with the chair, but close.
Right, right. Yeah.
And I love that I don't know if they got mics in the ring or the mics on the camera, but you could hear Jimmy yelling at Jay, I'm your brother. He not your brother. I would never do you like that. I'm going to do what you should have done a long time ago. And super kick Roman again.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like watching a movie. It was like, we got to go. We got to go. We all seen that type of scene in the movie where something happens and it's them against us now. We got to go. And they get they hit Soul Sikoa with Papa Powerbomb and the Helluva Kick and no, the stunner. I'm sorry. He hit the stunner on Soul Sikoa, Helluva Kick, and Sammy and KO retained. And you just see the Usos on the ramp and the frustration on Roman's face, like what just happened. But it's kind of getting to that point where like you are bringing this on yourself, Roman, and what now? It making for a very, very intriguing TV. I tell you that, where it's like, okay, what happens next? You gotta watch, and you gotta watch. So for that, I don't know if I can go instant class. I will go superb. I think it was handled in a superb fashion. Um, because it didn't quite have that feeling what they did at Royal Rumble, but it was still good. The match itself was still really good, and then everything around it was still really all really well done. They're doing masterful work, but only because what they did at the Rumble was so like emotionally like there was people crying. Okay, that's the thing at the Rumble.
Right,
So,
right.
uh, not a knock to this at all, but just because of the difference, I could get this superb.
Yeah, man, I went superb, and not just for the wrestling. As typical with a lot of these bloodline matches, especially when they involve Sammy. It's not just the wrestling; it's the storytelling, which is that's all part of what makes, for me anyway. Everybody's different, but that's all part of what makes a good match. Is not only is the wrestling good, but are you telling me a compelling story that I'm interested in? And that's what they did here. Now we knew for a long time they've been telegraphing the eventual breakup of the bloodline. So I'm finally glad to see them get to the point. I predicted Sammy and KO to win, and I said because I thought either the Usos, or I even thought there was a possibility that Solo maybe they would swerve us that way. Maybe Solo would turn on Roman, but no, it was the Usos, like we've all thought was coming for I don't know a couple of months now. It finally happened. I just didn't think they would. Look, we're already sick of Roman being a part-time Universal Champion. I definitely didn't think they would put the belts on him so he could also be a part-time tag team champion. So I just didn't see that
Yeah,
happening. But
that was kind of why I had to thinking of okay, well, he would say, "Look, I don't really want these. I just want them back in the bloodline, and y'all weren't getting it done. But I'm gonna give y'all one last chance." So that's kind of where my mind was. They're not gonna have him walk around with four belts. Come on.
right, yeah, and I mean I could see your scenario. I definitely could see something like that playing out. But I just thought, okay, so if Roman and Solo aren't going to win, obviously they're not going to lose clean because they're even trying to build up Solo strong. Not saying Solo can't eat a pin, but in an effort to keep him looking strong, he had to take a super kick from his own brothers. You know, so
Mhm.
uh, the right guys won because Sammy and KO are you know over with the fans right now, but you're also still keeping the bloodline relevant because, as you said, this is still an interesting storyline, even with the breakup of Sammy going and doing his own thing with KL now, and with the breakup of the Usos now apparently going to be out of the bloodline now. Even with all of that happening, the bloodline is still very interesting because now, look, Do we see the Usos versus Solo and Roman? That's a match I'd be all about. So I'm still enjoying the story, and I enjoyed the match. So the combination of those two gave it superb.
Yeah, I'm very curious where this goes. And Paul Heyman's face.
Man, Paul's solid gold. Everything he does,
I mean,
man, that dude cannot do anything wrong to me. The attention to detail, you know,
yeah,
because some people don't always remember that. Look, the camera could be on you at any time.
anytime.
Yeah, so everything that's going on in the match, you have to be reacting to what you're seeing, and Paul is great at that.
Yeah, he is. It's like he's always ready, and they know that they know when to cut to him. He knows what's coming. He knows what's happening. He knows the camera's gonna cut them eventually. So he keeps the face. He holds his face for a little bit. But yeah, yeah. I had like this was like mafia movie, New Jack City type feel with this one. Like, yeah, Nino Brown just got turned on by his surprise boys. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's how I
that's
feel.
yeah,
Um, I feel like there's a and my brothers keep a promo coming.
right, right. Yes, I am. Yeah, G Money making that side deal, turning on Nino.
Mm-hmm. Yep, yep. But what did you all think of Night of Champions? Um, let us know in the comment section down below. Let us know if you enjoyed our review. And make sure you keep hitting that like button, subscribe, and share. Um, per usual, there'll be a Trying to Laugh tomorrow, Trying to Laugh Tuesday. And then we'll have we haven't put it up yet, but we will get a movie out this week. We'll probably talk about that once we get off here. And the post show for AEW Double Nothing will get out this week as well. Just have to get that finished. Finish watching that. It's a long ass show. It's a holiday weekend. And then trying to avoid spoilers is difficult. I still somehow I have avoided AEW spoilers. I've seen half the probably more than half the show, but I'm missing like two matches. So, uh, yeah, that should be an interesting show to talk about. I tell you,
Yeah, man. I'm just one match in. So, but like you, I've been very good about avoiding the spoilers. At certain sites I just don't go to on my phone. I'm going to finish watching it tonight, and we'll have the show for you ready this week.
right? Well, appreciate y'all for watching or listening wherever you get your 3GW, whether it be YouTube or the podcast versions. Um, appreciate you all again. Take care. And as always, we'll speak to y'all again soon. Peace.